can do to ensure we get treatment as quickly as possible if we have it or if somebody we know and love has it. Welcome, Dr. Na Adoko Aite.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
I had a very heavy breakfast. And
you
I
probably
think
did.
It's digesting in here and up here. Welcome, Dr. Na.
Thank you.
For somebody who has to see the misery of cancer on, say, a daily basis, you look very well. How do you do it?
Oh, thank you very much. I think you should look good for every occasion. In Lagos, I used to say it while laughing. Every evening when I'm going to sleep, I put powder on my face and have some lip shine. Just in case God sends an angel, I want the angel to be happy to come and see me.
That's interesting.
Yes. There's so much that's happening. I think you can make the world a little nicer by looking nice. So
that's interesting. Because I usually have shea butter, on rabbit beneath my feet and in the middle of my palm before I go to sleep. So when I shake people's hands, my hands don't feel like scales of fish.
Exactly. Whatever tickles your fancy.
So before we come to the meat of the matter, cancer, how to know you have it, and when you have it, what to do to make sure it doesn't get worse. I want to talk about you as a little girl. Tell me about your life growing up.
So I grew up mostly in Tema, Community 5, and eventually we moved to Sakomono, but that was after secondary school.
So you're a Tema girl?
I am a Tema girl, and that's how come we know each other. Your little sister is my best friend. Marian, yes.
The troublesome one, last baby.
Yes. If there's anything that Marian has done, I probably was there. So growing up was interesting. I mean, I have 3 other siblings. The interesting thing is that the age gap between us is quite large.
Name and age gap?
So my big brother is called Cici. He's 9 years older than I am. And then I am 8 years older than the one who comes after me. The last one is 3 years younger than the one who comes before.
So mommy took sabbaticals in between.
I think so. I'm not sure what she was doing, but she did. And so for all of us, there was a season when you felt like you were the last born. When I was young, I was very playful. And so it was difficult for people to teach me. And I remember, if you ask me about my childhood, that's one of the things I remember, is my mom deciding that so she took up teaching me. And nearly every Saturday, around 4, she would lay a bed, the mats, the raffia mats, and she would sit me down and teach me.
I want to take you back to the statement you made and give us a literal translation of that. What is that again?
I am not an idiot, and so I won't give birth to an idiot. Basically that.
Mamum Bonnie. Thank you.
Exactly. So she made a conscious effort. And I feel like because of that, because my mother believed that Mbone, it was easy for me to go through school because at the back of my mind, I knew that I could do it. And then my siblings came in. I mean, we'll have a fight once in a while.
Over what?
Anything. Where to sit on the couch or who to have the first sip of something my mother is having. I mean, you know all those ridiculous
Well,
things.
you're not a Gen Z because then it would be what to watch on TV.
Exactly, no. At the time, TV was quite boring.
Or even better still, what to see on social media. Cool.
Yes, so that's it. Probably those are the things that I remember the most. And then my cousins coming over. I have quite a number of cousins. My mother has 9 siblings, and they all have kids. So over the vacation, everybody will come together. That was fun. We'll go to our grandma's in Kumasi. Growing up was good. It was.
Go to your grandma's in Kumasi. Is that why you seem to speak Asante Twi even better than Fanti?
I'm not sure my parents will be happy when they hear you say I speak Twi better than Fanti. But probably, I spent a lot of my vacations in Kumasi, yes, with my grandma. So yes, I speak good Twi.
And growing up, who did you look up to?
A number of people, I think. My mom, I think she's a warrior. She took care of us as though it was no problem at all. Actually, it was when I grew up Then I realized how difficult it was to take care of kids. But as a child, I never noticed that. And then, interestingly, there was a lady who lived close to us, Auntie Eva, wherever she is. So this lady would dress up when she's going to work. She used to work at SNIT. She was the PRO for SNIT. And in the morning, she would dress up and go to work. And every time I saw her, I told myself, when I grow up, I want to be like this woman.
Oh.
She spoke well.
What's her full name? Do you remember?
I can't remember the surname.
Wherever she is,
yes.
Somebody must tell her.
They must.
She inspired a very young lady who has become a great woman.
She has no idea what she's done. And she introduced me to plants. And so I love plants.
Of course.
She's a wonderful woman. And then subsequently, I think some of my teachers in medical school, and then when I was specializing as well.
In medical school? Do you remember some of the names of the teachers?
Oh, Prof. Claire Glamte. There's Dr. Edouai. Who else? Basically, these two people. Oh, and Prof. Darko. Unfortunately, he's passed. He seemed to take a special interest in me and would make sure that I did the right thing. Let's just say that. Yes. And then when I specialized, I met Prof. Vanderpoy. I'm sure you've met her.
Of course.
My current
lovely
boss,
lady.
yes.
Lovely lady.
Prof. Yanni, and some other people, Dr. Aite, people who've shaped my life, yes.
When we come back, we're going to start talking about cancer. How do people get it? What should they do when they get it? Is life over when they get it? But before then, I'd like to remind you all that whatever you're doing, wherever you are impacting somebody that you do not know. So do right, for God is watching and people are watching you. When we come back, more on Master of the Game with my special guest, Dr. Na Adoko Aite. You're on Master of the Game with Dakwa, Kwesi Che Dakwa, and my special guest, Dr. Na Adoko Aite. Now we're moving into the meat of the matter. This lady with me is a fellow of the Ghana College of Physicians and also a senior specialist
Yes.
in oncology and
Radiotherapy. Yes.
So,
Yes.
what is cancer?
So, the human body, right, is it's probably the most wonderful thing. Maybe because I take care of the human body, so I'll say that. I'm sure someone who takes care of plants might say plants are the most wonderful thing. But our body is in some form of equilibrium, right? New cells die, new ones are formed, and it's a tight control. But sometimes you can have an abnormal and rapid growth of cells that don't necessarily die. So these cells persist, and they undergo changes that make them immortal. Then they develop the ability to go to other parts of the human body. Now, if you have any abnormal growth of cells that has the ability to go to other parts of the body, that is a cancer.
Oh.
Yes, and often it is the growth of the cancer cells in other parts of the body that causes cancer death. So generally speaking, abnormal growth of cells with the ability to go to other sites is
So,
cancer.
an abnormal growth of cells
Yes.
with the ability to go to other parts of the body or other sites in the body,
Correct.
are they all malignant, or better yet, are they all problem causing?
Okay, so the ones that have the ability to go to other parts of the body, they all are. You can have an abnormal growth of cells without the ability to go to other parts of the body. Those are the benign ones, and they are not problematic
So the benign ones are the ones that do not harm you.
at all.
But malignant
Yes.
are the ones that will cause problems
Correct.
for you.
And they are the cancers.
So give us examples of some of these cells and how they go to the other part.
Oh, so cancer can affect every single part of the human body. Every part, think about it.
The eye,
The eye, the lips, inside your mouth, your brain, your nose, behind your nose, your neck, your chest, your lung, your heart, every part of the human body.
whoa.
And I always say that probably the only part that's spared is our hair and our nails. But even with that, where your hair comes from, the hair follicle, you can have cancer there. And where your nail comes from, your nail bed, you can have cancer there as well. And for the commonest ones, for females, it's breast and cervical cancer. And for males, it's prostate cancer. And then a close second, maybe third as well, are colon cancers and head and
It's
neck
kind of
cancers.
problematic, but it looks like the very parts that have to do with sustaining life or giving the power for life to happen are the ones that are most bothersome in the woman and the man.
Well, there are parts of the body that keep changing. And once the cells are changing, then the ability to develop cancer comes with that.
Now, how can one tell if they have cancer? In fact, let me reframe that question. What must one do, perhaps from time to time, to check if they may have cancer?
So like I said, you can have cancer of any part of your body. So really, you're supposed to examine every part of your body. So typically, you can look at your skin, make sure that you don't have any wounds or ulcers that persist for too long. You know that usually when you have a wound, it will heal. If you have a wound that's not healing, it's probably problematic. See your doctor. If you see any swelling that was previously not there, go and see your doctor. If you have, say, ulcers in your mouth that are not healing, or patches on your tongue that are not healing, go and see your doctor. If you feel any growth anywhere on your body, your breasts, your back, in your scrotum for males, you should go and see your doctor. Usually, if there's something new and it persists, it's probably not normal. So go and see your doctor.
Interestingly, when I was working in England, I recall that every year I'd be written to come for a full check. It was essentially like going for your MOT, the car going for a full check.
Exactly.
Every part of my body. And then 2 times a year I'd be written to come for an eye check because I have diabetes. And I'd also be written to come and have my dental check. So what do we have in place in Ghana for our citizens to have a check to ensure that rich or poor, if you have cancer, it can be found out?
Well, unlike other parts of the world, we don't have any organized screening for the Ghanaian population. So as doctors, what we do is that we do what you call opportunistic screening. So somebody comes to you with some chronic disease of some sort, hypertension, diabetes. And because you see them regularly, you incorporate the screening of cancer into their care. So if it's a woman and they're age 40, you encourage them to do a mammogram. Or if they are 23 and above and it's a woman, you encourage them to do their pap smear. If it's a man who's more than 40 years, you encourage them to do their PSA test, which can help you diagnose prostate cancer early. And then we do colonoscopies. Once you are age 50, your doctor should encourage you to do a colonoscopy, which checks to make sure you don't have cancer of the colon, for example. So our screening is opportunistic.
Why should we have an opportunistic screening in a nation where we have so much gold and where we have leaders who will travel elsewhere? And recently, there was one where the prime minister of one country and the prime minister of another in Europe were traveling in the same little car to an event when presidents of African countries were going in private jets and renting limousines and expensive cars. You know, as a doctor, I know you try not to be political, but what can we do to reverse that trend, to let those who lead understand that you are not governing stones, you are not a leader of stones, and if your people are not well, you should not be spending in this manner? What does the General Medical Council in Ghana say to government about things like this?
It's a difficult one. I do think, however, that at the minimum, right, the WHO suggests that some 15% of your GDP should be allocated to healthcare. If we did just that and continue to do our national health insurance and give the money that national health insurance has to national health insurance, then we can think about doing things. You know, healthcare is expensive everywhere in the world.
But some people have made a conscious effort
Correct.
to say, even if you are poor, even if you're drunk, even if you are raiding a bank and we're caught in an accident, we will look after you for free.
Exactly. So really it's priorities.
Priorities.
We just have to prioritize healthcare. And if the healthcare is bad, everything else will be bad.
You will not say so, but for me as a citizen, as a broadcaster, I have a duty to educate, inform, and entertain. I would say leadership is failing most of Africa because we have got our priorities wrong.
We have.
So it looks like we're placing our wants over our needs.
Probably.
Because I want to come to the stories of when I called you at work and you're almost in tears because sometimes you have to spend your own money to ensure people could get their chemotherapy. What did you have to do to raise money for people who had none to get their chemotherapy?
We've done quite a bit. We've gone to companies. There were times when I had companies that would send some money once a month so that whoever needed care would be given. We are lucky sometimes. People actually walk into the center and say, I have 10,000 or whatever amount of money. If you have somebody who needs help, kindly give that to. Sometimes we collect monies from ourselves. Yes.
From the staff?
Yes.
To give people care for cancer?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, and sometimes you have patients who see other patients who can't afford and offer to pay for them.
How much is a session of chemotherapy today?
Well, it depends. So there are different types of chemotherapies for different sites of cancer. Sometimes you may have just one medication, so it may be affordable, 200, something like that. But you can have a combination of 3 or 4. And these days we have targeted treatment that can be quite expensive. So
quite expensive?
45,000, for example. Yes.
In a matter of
every 3 weeks. Yes.
What?
Every 3 weeks.
45,000 Ghana cedis.
Yes, every 3 weeks. So it can be from 200 cedis to 50,000.
When you speak to your colleagues at work, and you can see with, I can't say clarity, but you can see with pain that you're losing somebody because the money is not there to give them the care. What is the mood like at the hospital?
Oh, I mean, apart from the initial frustration, because you usually are, when you feel like there's something you can do for somebody, but you can't because there's no money. And then there's sadness. I think that quite a number of us stayed in Ghana, and the Japan, as they call it, is rife currently. And when we're in medical school, some of us talked and decided that we want to stay in Ghana because it's got to be good for all of us. I mean, if you leave, your parents will be here. Who's going to take care of them, right? But then over the time, things are not perfect. And so you keep asking yourself, did I make the right choice staying? Because you don't want to see a patient who can be cured and not be able to cure them because they don't have money. And interestingly, Kwesi, 50% of our patients, after their first encounter with a doctor, don't come back.
Why?
Because they can't afford or they don't want the treatment. There's a myriad of reasons, but certainly financial is one of them. And then we have a few competitors as well. Oh yes, herbalists, preachers. I've been told to call them our collaborators
do they actually
now.
Fix cancer, or what they do is palliative?
So far, we haven't met anybody who's been cured.
Please explain palliative before people say KKD Pebrofo.
So when we see somebody with cancer, there are two things we aim to do: either to cure them of their cancer, or to make their lives better, and that's palliation. So there's curative treatment and there's palliative treatment, and both are very important for cancer.
Yes. It's palliative, and I know I say, "I'm sorry, but I'm your crown and my crocro and my arechichle."
Yeah.
Oh my. Sometimes you want to say life is good, and then you also think and you say life is hard.
Yeah,
so
and short.
The rich and poor, everybody can get cancer.
Everybody. And even children get cancer. So, yes, everybody.
What would you say government should do if government by itself, because government is all of us,
yes,
but essentially government is the people we vote for, should do to maybe alleviate the headaches of those who donate to the cancer center in Ghana?
Oh, could they have tax relief? I feel like that's a way to encourage people to give and companies to give. If you donate money for cancer care, I think you must get some tax
write-off.
Yes. And it will encourage people to do it. And then the other thing I think is that maybe we should be more serious about getting cancer treatment on the National Health Insurance. So some cancers are on there. Not all the treatments for the various cancers are on there as well. So if we make a conscious effort to do that, that will be a lot of help as well.
When we come back, we'll be asking what exactly the Medical Association in Ghana, and in fact the Ministry of Health, can do to actually reach out and touch every life in Ghana to ensure that our people do not get cancer. And if they do, can get the support they need. Only on Master of the Game with the one and only Dr. Na Adoko Aite. Right after this.
Your election stronghold is here again with the most comprehensive election coverage.
The moment to choose between research, upgrade, and the others. We are your trusted source to give you a comprehensive coverage.
And Plus Media Group is your most reliable and trusted source to give you the best analysis.
We've put together a strong team of reporters across all constituencies to bring you the breaking news.
Experienced presenters for all the unbiased in-studio discussions with very knowledgeable experts.
Ababia yebenya ebefi polling stations ahodwa ewo Ghana for na yebenya mre ni asone so krojen amemu ate ni ye dia somo
enti ye die ni bedi abato n'echi na ne bepie wa abato mu bia no yamam ehunu
kan ho e wa Accra 100.5 FM Class 91.3 FM CTV Ghana's #1 television and after classfmonline.com. Your affiliate stations are who work in which your Ghana have baby no on Sabekaye.
Abato mre Sabe so who abato no nsu sanso a koso full of Class Media Group, your election strong group.
Hello, Ghana. My name is Dakwa, Kwesi Che Dakwa, and I'm delighted to tell you a beautiful story. For every young person in Ghana looking to work in radio, television, or online, this is a great opportunity for you. Welcome to Class Media Group. Class Media Group, with 1 TV station, 9 radio stations throughout the country, and 1 great online portal, is taking on new hires as interns. Interns to shadow great personalities and train for a job and career ahead. All you have to do is apply to this below. Let's go straight to our head of human capital and culture. Whether you want to work in radio production, radio presenting, television production, television presenting, or working to write and post online, Class Media Group is the place to be. This is KKD. See you soon. Thank you for joining us only on CTV for Master of the Game, the program where we bring you Ghanaians who are movers, shakers, icons, and legends. Our special guest today is Dr. Na Adoko Ayite. Why do it's almost changing. And she's talking to us about what she does every day for a living. We're actually streaming live on Facebook on MyCTVGH, on Accra 100.5 FM, on Class 91.3 FM, and on YouTube at MyCTVGH, all around. Now I have to ask you, they say life brings you blessings and lessons. What have you learned and what blessings have you received from taking care of your patients?
Oh, well, God bless you is one of the blessings that come to mind immediately. But
God bless you.
yes,
Everyone.
everybody,
Even the
says
ones
God.
who don't pray.
Yeah, yeah. And I hope this is going somewhere into my account in heaven. Because if it's God bless you that you need, I'm going to heaven. But a lot of lessons. Taking care of people who have embraced the fact that they are not immortal is special. A lot of people ask me, why cancer? Why cancer? It's so sad. I always say that I might not be able to cure everybody. I might not be able to get everybody to live forever. But if I can make their lives just a little better, take away their pain, or allow them a bit of time to, say, go for their child's wedding, that's something. And by doing that, I've realized how short life is. And I have a lot of patients who say that doctor, life is so short. They had plans of doing all kinds of things. I had a woman who had plans of going to visit her kids. Her children had lived in abroad for a long time. And for a long time, she said, I don't want to go anywhere, I don't want to go anywhere. And just when she decided she wanted to go and visit her kids, we found out she had cancer. And it was terminal. And it was the regret that I had plans, but I never followed through with those plans. And then a lot of people also bear grudges.
Bear grudges?
Yes. And often when your cancer is terminal, all you want to do is to go and make peace with people. Because what's the point anyway? Sometimes we forget that we'll be gone just like we came. I mean, where were we when we were coming? Nowhere. but we are here. It's the same way. When you're going, you probably won't even know it. And so once they realize that, then they look at life differently. And then I've had a few people as well who wish they had saved a bit of money. When you grow older, that's when you get all the diseases. And so it's important that when you are young and you make a lot of money, that you keep some for when you are old and gray, because you might need it for your treatment.
It is the story of all the beautiful conveyances, no matter how nice the car is, no matter how cheap or expensive it is. As it gets older, more age, more problems.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And it breaks my heart when I see some people who exercised so well in their youth, refused to drink, refused to smoke, did all the right things, yet they also get cancer. Why is that?
So your body, like I said, any part of the body that changes its cells can develop cancer. The causes of cancer are so varied. Just growing old is a risk cancer. Being a man or a woman is a risk cancer. And then there are the other things that we introduce into the body. So just by being, that's a risk for cancer.
There was a time when people would look at a cancer patient as though they were a scary individual. What has the Ministry of Health done to make people understand that cancer is not contagious, and people living with cancer are just like any one of us?
Oh, I think we've done quite a bit. So in the past, you wouldn't hear about cancer. These days, we talk about it. We are diagnosing it more. Obviously, our systems have improved, so we are diagnosing it more, and so people are living with it for longer. We make a conscious effort to talk about it as well on media platforms, at engagements we have with stakeholders and members of the public. And so right now, I think most people know something about the cancers. And then in the past, even those who had early cancer couldn't have treatment in the country. So they would go to other parts of the world to go and have their treatment. But now we have treatment in Ghana. And I must say that our treatment is, if not state of the art, just below state of the art. And so people can actually be diagnosed and receive treatment. Because what's the point of saying somebody has an illness when you can't treat? These days, we can actually treat nearly all of the cancers here. And so those are some of the ways in which we've improved.
That's some very good PR for College. You know, and I know that if people have to cancel chemotherapy, how many you have there for?
Oh, we are okay. So our therapy machines, we have 2. It's not the best, but 2 therapy machines that are functioning all the time is good.
And ye shall be given. How many machines are they sufficient? How many do we need? Because sometimes I know one breaks down, because I had a friend whose mother used to come there every 3 weeks. We lost her. This dear brother of mine, Kofi Edusei, we lost his mother, and that broke my heart. And I remember how much we had to pay every 3 weeks when she came. His father did all he could with all his pension money to do what he could, and sometimes the machine would be down, and then you had to go for another one. And my understanding is, if you're getting treatment on one particular machine, you want to stay with that, not to go to the other. Can you explain the intricacies of that?
Well, so there are different machines based on how the radiation that is produced is developed. We can have it from radioactive sources, or you can have it from basically electricity. Elsewhere in the world, what happens is that they usually have multiples of the different types, so that one undergoes what we call systemic rehabilitation. So every Monday, you will be taken care of. Then the rest will work, so you don't have a lot of breakdown time. Unfortunately for us, we have a single one of each of the different types.
And you're saying we're okay? Nah.
No. So what I mean to say is that if all our machines are working, we are okay.
You mean 2?
Yes.
Is that enough?
However, because you can have breakdown, it's always better if you have a spare. Initially, we had such wonderful plans. So all our teaching hospitals were going to have therapy machines. A lot has happened these days, and that has, well, it's not foremost on the plans of Ministry of Health. But I'm hopeful that as we go on, that will happen. So there'll be one in KKD.
I must say, it is a shame.
Where are the cancer centers in Ghana?
So there's one in Accra, where I work. That's the premier one. There's one in Kumasi, at Kath.
How many machines?
2 as well.
Different,
Yes.
one different. And they stay working, they never break down?
They all break down.
So
All machines break down. Exactly. That would be the ideal thing.
Will that only happen when somebody at the presidency or in parliament or in the judiciary have a member of their
family fall to cancer? Or is it because they go abroad to get their care paid for by government that they do not care? Because where we stand at the moment, all I can say is we are doing only what we truly want to do, which means we are prioritizing our wants over our needs. And I do understand, as a doctor, you don't want to speak to these issues. But I think as a broadcaster, I have a duty to speak to the issue.
Yeah.
So let's speak honestly. How many of each machine would it be advisable that the premier cancer center in Ghana and the premier tertiary hospital in Ghana must have to look after Ghanaians?
Minimum, we must have a backup machine. That's
Just
the
a minimum of a backup machine
Yes.
for each.
Yes.
So
exactly.
4 machines at Kolebu and probably 4 machines
At Kath.
at CAT. So for all who are vying to be president of Ghana, do us a favor. We have gone years without the machines to look after our own selves. And a people that cannot look after their own health care must apparently have somebody else come over and enslave them and tell them what to do so they can stay alive. If you are vying to be president, please address the issue of the cancer centers in Ghana. And whilst at it, also address the issue of the diabetes centers in Ghana, because these are things that are killing the people that you want to be president over. When we come back, we'll be talking about what every citizen with any expertise in any field of endeavor should do before they retire or expire. Only on Master of the Game with KKD and special guest Na Adoko Aite.
Ghana Way! Moya Radio! Hisense Black Friday promo no is back! Every 28th November, equipping 30th November, and 3 days pet. Shamo Hisense showroom bia, and Ghana for Nanina. And ya open no, ya titi suso who ain't enjaja ho. Sa Black Friday promo, Hisense a titi niama so chayo bia. Ain't say ya television, air condition, another refrigerator, gas cooker, dishwasher, and our sound system, mobile phone. High-sense kettle, microwave, blender, juicer, toaster, irons, rice cooker, air fryer, halogen oven, sandwich maker, water heater, vacuum cleaner, any baby kika home. Madam High-sense, my shada tiswama, say who, my Black Friday promo ihu here. Esa say, eya chedi amede mau. Emma if you say, High-sense kwane mau, 5 years manufacturer defect warranty. Eya High-sense Black Friday promo. High-sense, everyday prices for everyday people. Ghana Way, Moya Radio, Hisense.
In every field of endeavor, they say there is only one absolute superstar. But that superstar also has around them so many shining stars and satellites. And the only way they shine really bright is if they continue to learn, to know, and to build their capacities. This is what everybody who wants to be a star in their area of work must do. So I want to ask, if we don't have the machines, at least we have the ability to build capacity of the people who have to use the few machines we have. How do you build your capacity?
What's a person? Well, I mean, apart from the formal education, oncology in the whole world is a big deal. And the truth is that the longer we live, the more likely it is that you develop a cancer. People say that's morbid, but that's the truth. And so there's a lot of material everywhere. There are organizations, local, international organizations that I'm a member of. I go for the meetings regularly because...
How do you fund going for the meetings?
Oh, different ways. The center helps sometimes. Sometimes you have sponsorship from pharma. And then I sponsor it myself as well. Because it changes so quickly. If you want to expire, well, then don't upgrade yourself. I think that there's so much going on. You must be abreast with it. And these days, our patients come to us with Dr. Google. So I don't think you should be a doctor who doesn't know what's happening. Yes, so a lot of learning. And you should be open to listen to all kinds of things from other people. Sometimes they hear about it first. So I've decided I won't dismiss anything. And just learn. I mean, just take in whatever. Even if it's music or proverbs, whatever it is. Because it might influence the way you manage something. So just read a lot.
I got a cut in America once, and I was speaking to a doctor of mine, and then after he told me everything I had to do, he says, and you can look up on it on the website of the Mayo Clinic. So what I do now is any little thing, even recently when I had the situation, thank you very much, you saved my life. Welcome. I had a horrible nosebleed, 45 minutes of just bleeding. I think I lost more than half a pint of blood.
You won't be here.
It was really bad. It was really bad, and you saved me. And he says, go to the Mayo Clinic. So with all this capacity building, when you come back home, when you realize, I have seen this at these conferences, I've seen this on these forums, what do? Do you put in a request? Well, you're part of leadership, but do you put in a request? And who does the request go to? And then how do they respond to your requests?
Well, interestingly, at my center, we have what we call the consultants meeting. And so regularly we'll meet as a group and discuss what's new and how that will influence our practice. If it's something that is career practice changing, so there's a new way of, say, treating breast cancer or a more effective way of giving chemotherapy, for example, then we'll adopt it at a center and do it. I feel like my center is one of the most academic ones in Kolebu. We are very willing to introduce new things, and so far it's been very welcoming.
And what I really admire about you, and that actually puts you amongst the movers, shakers, and soon to be an icon, is the fact that you determined that all this knowledge you're gathering will not die with you. You must die empty. So unlike many before you, ta-da!
Yes.
You wrote a book.
I did. I'm an author.
A guide to breast diseases. Yes. Essential reading for every boy and man.
And women. And women.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Beautiful work. And you did this with a dear senior of yours, Dr. Joe Nat Clegg Lamptey.
Yes, my teacher and friend.
Fantastic.
Yes.
A guide to breast diseases.
Yes.
What exactly inspired the writing of this book?
A lot of things, Kwesi. We can't be everywhere all the time, but the book can be everywhere all the time. So we go about a lot, especially around October, to talk about breast cancer because it's the leading cancer in Ghana for females. And for I've been doing this for nearly 14 years now, and every October we do the same thing. But we realized that after October, people either are not as enthusiastic about it or they forget. We also thought that even within our training, especially in the nursing training, teacher training, because they are the ones who have contact with your kids, that we don't talk about diseases that impact lives. So what we did was write a book in plain, simple English. The aim is that whoever takes it and reads, whether it's a general public or a nurse, you'll be able to understand what breast diseases are, what breast cancer is, and what you can do to make sure that the outcomes are good. So that's what this is about.
I'd like to read what's at the back of the book. It says, The female breast is a mark of beauty and a source of confidence for women.
Yeah, it is.
Actually, it's a source of confidence and nourishment for men.
I won't argue with that.
And little boys too. When afflicted with disease or symptoms, however, it becomes a source of fear and anxiety. Like other parts of the human body, appropriate diagnosis and treatment is essential to reduce both morbidity and mortality. Breast cancer is the leading cause of cancer deaths among women worldwide, particularly in low and middle income countries. Misinformation and myths contribute significantly to late diagnosis and high mortality rates. Yeah. Everybody needs to get a copy of this book. Where can they find it? And when? Is it already out?
Oh, it's already out, yes. It
So
was out in October. Nearly all the bookshops have it. EPP Bookshop. It's available at the Cancer Center in Kolebu. It's on Amazon, actually. And it's at Kingdom Bookshops as well.
And you launched something about corporate organizations who should help to ensure that all children in secondary schools have access to this book. Can you talk about that?
Yes. So that's the 50K in 5 project.
50K in 5 projects.
Yes. So the aim is that we want to get 50,000 books to young women, second cycle, tertiary institutions. And we are encouraging corporate Ghana to buy the books and donate. So we want a generation of women who are so aware of what the breast is. That breast cancer is not mysterious anymore. That's the problem with breast cancer. Because people are not familiar with it, we give it all kinds of interpretations. And that's one of the things we address in the book's myths, Chrissy. You have no idea the kinds of myths.
Tell me one of the myths.
Oh, very weird ones. That black braziers cause breast cancer.
Who started this one?
People actually believe it.
Who started this one?
I wish I knew. Deodorants cause breast cancer. Yeah, things like that.
It's a lie.
It is a lie.
And somebody is selling this lie. Now, what about the braziers from used clothing?
I cannot say they cause breast cancer. I'm not sure they are too clean, though.
Even if they are washed in Parazone and hot water?
I won't put my life on the line for it.
Okay. So, essentially, what Dr. Na Adoko Aite and Dr. Joe, is he professor or doctor?
Yes, he's professor.
Professor Joe Nat Clegg Lamte would like to say to corporate Ghana is, reach out, find what little school is in your area, or whatever primary school or secondary school you personally attended or some of your staff attended, and buy the books in bulk and distribute to every child in the school, yes, that they may read and learn about the breast and the diseases of the breast. Very, very important. So corporate Ghana, this is a call to you, to all the banks, to the mining firms, to the to everybody doing business, and also the big market women, because we know you make a lot of money. Buy these books in bulk and go to a school and donate, and take a picture when you donate, and we will put it online for all the world to see. So Dr. Na, before you go, I want to find out from you, if you had to speak to a 12-year-old girl who was just joined secondary school, what would you tell them about the breast and how to take care of it?
Oh. Well, just to start with that, it doesn't matter what size of breast you have. Your breast, a big size breast can do what the small size breast can do.
Oh, they all can lactate?
Yes, and that's the most important one. Also that you should be aware of how your breast is like. I always say that one of the reasons why you notice a pimple on your face the moment it comes is because you keep looking at your face, right? So once there's something new, you notice it. That's how much you must know your breast. It's yours. Have a feel, touch it, look at it. Once you get used to how your breast feels like, then once there's something abnormal, you can see it. And that's important. And when you notice the abnormality, go and see your doctor. If you go to the hospital and you don't like the way you are being treated, go to another hospital.
If you go to one hospital and you don't like the way you're being treated, go to another hospital. Beautiful words from Dr. Na Adoko Aite. And that brings us to the end of the first part of Master of the Game this Wednesday, only on CTV. My name is Dakwa, Kwesi Che Dakwa. And when we come back, I bring you an expert in customer service. Customer service is one of those constructs that is so necessary in Ghana today, from the hospitals to the hotels, from the toiletry centers to the toilets. In every aspect of our daily lives, customer service has failed Ghana for years, and we have to all learn the ABCs of customer service if we are to say Ghana is the gateway to Africa. We'll be right back with our next guest after this. Thank you for joining us.
Black Friday promo no is back. Every 28th November, equipping 30th November, a 3 days pay. Shame or high sense showroom bia. Ewa Ghana for Nenina. Adia openo. Ya titi suso. Tienjeja ho. Sa Black Friday promo. High sense a titi niema so chai bia. Ain't say television, air condition, another refrigerator, gas cooker, dishwasher, now sound system, mobile phone, high sense kettle, microwave, blender, juicer, toaster, irons, rice cooker, air fryer, halogen oven, sandwich maker, water heater, vacuum cleaner, any be break kika home. Madam High Sense, ma sheda tiswama. Say who my Black Friday promo ihu here. Esa say eya chedi amede mau. Emma if you say High Sense go on mau 5 years manufacturer defect warranty. Eya High Sense Black Friday promo.
High Sense, everyday prices for everyday people.
Your election strong room is here again with the most comprehensive election coverage.
The moment to choose between resets, upgrade, and the others. We are your trusted source to give you a comprehensive coverage.
And Class Media Group is your most reliable and trusted source to give you the best analysis.
We've put together a strong team of reporters across all constituencies to bring you the breaking news.
Experienced presenters for all the unbiased in-studio discussions with very knowledgeable experts.
Ababia yebenya ebese police stations ahodwa awa Ghana for na yebenya mre ni asone so krojen amemu ate ni dia somo
anti ye anybody abato nechi na ne bepie wa abato no mu bia no yamamwe hunu
kan ye ho e wa kra 100.5 FM class 91.3 FM CTV, Ghana's #1 television, and after classfmonline.com. Your affiliate stations are working with your Ghana Habebiano or Sabakaye.
About to ombre, some say who about to know Sanswa. Paswa full of Class Media Group, your election strong group.
Somebody like Azuma Nelson is giving me an advice on boxing. I'll take it.
The reason she doesn't want to ask, maybe she feels like it's too early. Maybe she knows the right thing and she's still complaining.
Apart from business and any other thing, I don't see what she be saying yours.
Talking to me when you have children,
well, be with that young guy.
Ladies of late know they like the
man and the wife alone.
CTV, Ghana's #1.
It's party time on one of them. Ola Bawo. As I introduce to you Safari Zoom Flex live on Ghana's #1. With Zoom Flex, you can join the fun wherever you find yourself via Zoomer. Ella, shake the body. But it's Friday. Of course, time is 10 p.m. sharp on Ghana's #1 with the man them DJ Last Week Official. We say Ola Bawo.
give me the move, give me the vibe, give me the move, give me the vibe, give me the move, give me the
CTV, Ghana's #1.
Apostle Francis Odro World Outreach Ministry akawo ho biom the School of Ministry nyame enam Apostle Francis Odro so nyame adom wo so ana wo da eso ene yisremu kire se nyame aton sa fraw amanyame adwuma ana mpo se wo nyame sumu dada nanso unim adom kura ewa wo so ane na akwanya beda ho ama wo se woni the School of Ministry ebesua de
enti wo ba chew na wo feeder wo be de wo operate
School of Ministry be ma wo boarding credibility se international certificate in ministry and international diploma in ministry.
Start the training now.
It's party time on Watching Them Stare. Ola Bawo. As I introduce to you Safari Zoom Flex live on Ghana's #1. With Zoom Flex, you can join the fun wherever you find yourself. Dear Zuma, Ella, shake the body. But it's Friday, of course. Time is 10 p.m. sharp on Ghana's #1 with the man them DJ Last Week Official. We say Ola Bawo.
Give me the move, give me the vibe, give me the move, give me the vibe, give me the move, give me
CTV, Ghana's #1.
When we they are all the same.
Oh, me I fear about to angasa my margin cement.
Menkasada. I don't want to nyina ya trofo utete parties ni nyina do this is papa and also dineti papa we
Medindi Kofi Apa. I'm the leader and founder of the Liberal Party LPG.
Oh no, didn't say papa I be brought this generation the next generation. Now let me tell you the vision of this man.
Na me adom number be president akola bi wo Ghana bia say the ema me ma e wa bochire sa ne be yamom akola bi ebitua ne ka bosum bia 500 Ghana cedis
see wakra and there copim 80 years which one ka 500 Ghana cedis
hey this o my na ya bosum bia na je so be na 2000 Ghana cedis sa so na me be president wo mo a wo nya adwuma ifiri ni nwotwe eko nkokora ne mrewa so ebetua mo ka we
build up from 18 years. I want you to know, but you're in the car. 700 Ghana cedis. Hey, let me tell you some cry and say,
university so be free.
We are not school free.
For number 5. Madam, I feel 2024 election week. Metro Abane Diama LPG. Mami posters ni bi. Na me muam nyenye campaign.
O hwe krata na de to abana be number 5. Me na me to so bi. Ma share so bi no e yan so ma. To abana mami na to mami a me de ose e yo.
Hello, welcome back to Master of the Game with Kwesi J. Dakwa. Next guest is somebody who believes that without customer service, all the talk about growing our businesses is going nowhere. From the great work of the GIPC through the GNPC, through all the local authorities, if we do not have good customer service people facing the local and foreign clients, we will drive people away. So Lady Pearl Perlasia Tehuda is my guest. She is the boss, as they say, the boss lady of HR certification. And she actually handles customer service training for corporate bodies. Hello and welcome, Lady Pearl.
Hi, KKD.
How are you?
I'm blessed and favored.
You look great.
Thank you. You do too.
Many years ago, I saw you on my younger sister's program working as an intern.
Oh, wow. Yes, that's true.
And you've come a long way.
A long way.
So some may say she made it into the 40 under 40 in Ghana when she was only 39. You know, cutting it close. But she seems to have risen too fast for somebody in the HR business. How did you do it? And how did you become a mover and shaker in your field of endeavor?
That's a deep one, I must say. But I think that if there is anything we need to talk about in the human race, is about change and being passionate about the change. You know, I have been a firm believer of the fact that people must aspire, and we all aspire differently. So way before getting out of university, I could tell vividly what I wanted to become. Or let me even say, way from the days of my mother, I could tell what I wanted to become. As much as I was growing, I was trying to refine where I was going or where I wanted to be, but the destination has always been same for me. And so being in 40 under 40 for me was an eye-opener. Like so many younger girls or many younger men,
ladies and men,
yes, aspiring to do so many things. I saw people in the field of entrepreneurship, I saw people in the field of advocacy, I saw people in the field of agriculture and so many things. And for me, I could tell that the world was going somewhere. So for me, the journey has always been to be where I want to be. So I would always tell people that I am not surprised where I am today. But definitely and obviously, I cannot leave out the grace of God. I cannot leave out the grace of God. And whatever you want to be, whatever your actions are, whatever your plans are, if God is not at the center, you aren't going anywhere.
But God is everywhere, and God is there for everyone. Whether you speak Chinese or Japanese or German or Chi or Ga, God helps everybody. Two teams go on a field to play, and every one of them prays to God. But the one that plays better is the one that wins.
Exactly.
So, why HR certification and customer service? Why have you chosen that as the intentional field of endeavor for Pearl?
All right, so I've always been a people person. I've always loved to develop people, whether from the entry level of their career to the senior level of their career. I've always wanted to be people person. And the fact that I work in an HR certification or like an HR firm doesn't mean that I'm HR. I mean, people always will tell that, oh, Pearl, you are in the HR field, so they would ask you all the HR questions. But I am focused on business development, people development, and customer experience. We have moved away from customer service to now talking about customer experience. And so the passion to see people develop, the passion to see people grow and become what they want to become is very important. Like you said, on the football field, you have two teams playing. Everybody is asking God for a win or for a victory. What makes the difference is you being intentional and deliberate about why you are there. So we could have two businesses doing the same thing. So for example, someone is in the field of people training, the other person is also in the same field. Why would a customer choose to come to company A and not company B? The difference is in what you deliver. The difference is what you give to the person. It's not just about the name. I mean, we can talk about HR certification. Another person could be talking about HR certification. But the difference is in the detail. And so I would always tell people that when you are in business to serve people, don't let the end goal be about money. And don't even focus your attention on competition. Competition would always be there. I mean, businesses will come and they will grow. Some will grow and they will decline. Some will plateau and then they will decline and all of that. Every now and then the businesses are coming. And once you're succeeding in one particular field, another person would yearn to do that. The difference is focusing on who is buying your service.
I want to bring customer service to this morning. So you've come to the company that I run.
Yeah.
Class Media Group. What would you say about the customer service when you get there? And be honest, if it's bad, say it. If it's good, say it. We've got to the point where we must speak the truth to each other,
yes,
that we all can develop for one another.
Okay,
go ahead.
right. So let me take it from
when you parked your car to when you got out of your car.
People always leave out the entry point when we're talking about customer service. And the entry point I'm talking about, from whoever is directing you to park, who is at the car park before we even enter into the customer service lounge or the reception. I met a different scenario at the car park. And I met a different scenario before walking into the reception. And then right after, I met different people, very pleasant people. People who would come in to welcome you, to find out if you're okay, if you need assistance or anything. I can say that you are doing amazingly well.
Oh, that's very
But
kind.
obviously, there is room for improvement.
Yes, so I want to get specifics in the car park, specifics in the reception, and specifics with the management team that handled you.
I hope nobody gets sacked for this. So at the car park, I was directed to park beautifully, and it was
Somebody
very seamless.
helped you park?
Yes, very seamless.
Fantastic.
I was directed on where to park, and I got down, I asked a question. I was directed to the right person.
That must either be our warrant officer, one of our warrant officers, or maybe
Unfortunately, I didn't get
Mandela.
the name, but very
Exactly.
pleasant personality.
Good.
I was directed beautifully, and I got to the reception. Even before I entered the reception, there was a lady walking behind me. I asked a question. She gave me assistance. I mean, top notch. I got whatever I wanted. What I didn't get, I don't know who was sitting at the front desk, but for me, when you see a customer walk in, I don't care whether you're serving the CEO at that time. Your focus is the customer. Because at the end of the day, the salary will come from the table of the CEO.
But
it is the customer.
But the customer.
The CEO is just more like a steward, you know, after the money. So at the end of the month, we put all together, we say, you deserve this, you take this, you take that.
Fantastic.
But if the customer doesn't give us money, we are not in business. Fantastic. And that is what people must come to appreciate.
So give me the full scenario, because it will not be just about us. It will be about other companies.
Exactly.
Whether it's in the bank or an insurance company, or even the women selling at the market. Give me the scenario of what happened in the reception and what could be made better.
Okay. So I walked in, there was a lady seated. I think her head was bowed. I mean, she was either looking on her phone or doing something. But immediately you see someone come through your door, the first thing is you lift up your head and you welcome. Whether the person is your customer or not, once there is a human being walk through your door, you take it well up. Because if you don't, the next business will steal your customer.
Exactly.
The next business is willing, you know, just looking around to see what you're not doing. They champion on it and they take your customer away. So you lift your head, you welcome, and then offer any other assistance that you can give. I didn't get that. And then when I walked to where I have to make my face beautifully looking, I got the best of reception. She asked me what I want, whether I want it this way, whether I want it very loud or that. And I mean, she just didn't put anything on my face, but she wanted to be sure.
She spoke with you before she served you.
Beautifully.
Fantastic.
Beautifully serving me and always making sure I was okay, directing me to look into the mirror. Beautiful service. I was relaxed. I felt at home. And then your team, I mean, I think there was head of media, there was head of channel and all of that. Everybody welcoming me. At some point, I felt like I was a celebrity, you know, but it was a beautiful service, I must say. And, you know, to in here, I've seen some banters here and there, which we will address back door, but I think it's a beautiful environment. And anybody looking forward to working in a world-class environment possibly would consider this place.
Don't you go away. We're with Lady Pearl Perlasia Tehoda, talking about customer service and how we can use it to win customers and keep them. When we come back, we're going to be breaking down customer service for the blue chip company, for the small business, and even in the marketplace. Only on Master of the Game with KKD in the place to be.
Ghana way, Maya Radio, High Sense Black Friday promo no is back. Every 28th November, Ekwabim 30th November, 3 days pe. Shamo High Sense showroom bia, ewa Ghana for nanyina. Ade a open no, ya tete so say who enti enjeja ho. Sa Black Friday promo yi, High Sense a tete niema so chai obia. Enti say ya television, air condition, anasa refrigerator, gas cooker, dishwasher, na sound system, mobile phone, High Sense kettle, microwave, blender, juicer, toaster, irons, rice cooker, air fryer, halogen oven, sandwich maker, water heater, vacuum cleaner, any baby kika home. Madam High Sense, ma sheda tiswama. Say who my Black Friday promo ihu here. Esa say eya chedi amede mau. Emma if you say High Sense go an mau 5 years manufacturer defect warranty. Eya High Sense Black Friday promo.
High Sense, everyday prices for everyday people.
This is Master of the Game, only on CTV, streaming live on Facebook at MyCTVGH, Accra 100.5 FM, and Class 91.3 FM, as well as YouTube on MyCTVGH. That's MyCTVGH. It saddens me to announce that we have some sad news. Call to Glory. The good mother who inspired Mr. Music Man Kojo Antwi's great song, Brebre Anoa, is gone. It is with sadness that Mr. Music Man, the maestro Kojo Antwi, and his siblings and their families announce to the general public, the media, music, culture, and tourism fraternity, and all lovers, friends, and fans worldwide, the passing of their beloved mother, Madame Mary Adjoe-Nyama, on the 13th of November 2024 at Impraiso General Hospital. As a lady from the royal family, the news was held till the family was willing to announce it. A 40th day gathering will be announced for all friends and sympathizers to attend and grant comfort and a shoulder to lean on to the family. May the soul of Mr. Music Man Kojo Antwi's beloved mother, Madame Mary Adjoe-Nyama, rest in peace. This is the song that was inspired by Kojo Antwi's mother, who has now been called to glory. Brebre Anoa.
music.
Soothing
yes,
music.
will come to mind. So that is the feeling you want your customer to have. And it just doesn't happen. The company or the business must make it happen. So before you roll out a service or before you roll out a product, you must have at the back of your mind what the customer should feel at the end of, engaging with our product or services. Otherwise, you would wake up to something you are not happy about.
Mame Dokuno.
A legend. Fighting for women. Pace setter. These are the words that will come to mind when you talk about Mame Dokuno. And of course, you will talk about literature, you will talk about drama and all of that. As to whether her brand has been managed properly, I can't sit here to say because I'm not brand expert. All right. So customer service or customer experience should be the feeling that you expect your people to have. When I engage with, let's say I've gone to a shop to buy a phone, possibly I've seen an advert on TV and I could tell I want this phone. What do I want out of the phone? Maybe I don't have all the answers. But when I get into your space, that phone shop to buy the phone, from whoever is making the sale, telling me about the features of the phone, the person must be well positioned to give me a certain experience. And out of that experience, I will make a purchase.
Does their visual presentation matter? Because some people have all the important information, but you're not sure you like the way they look. How do you handle that?
So visuals is very, very important. Otherwise, we won't be talking about brand logo. We won't be talking about brand colors. We won't be talking about how we even put out our creatives.
And the person serving you?
Exactly. I'm sure that on your social media handle, you just don't put anything. You must be sure that the T's are crossed, the I's are dotted, and you have a fine representation of your brand. So it's very important for people to take all of these things into consideration. But at the end of the day, how are you selling the product? Would you give me a product that I go to use and then I come back and I have all sort of complaints? And when I even do have the complaints, how do you resolve my complaint? And so I will tell you this. Don't put your finest of talent in terms of selling your product or service at the top. And at the top, I'm looking at leadership. Whoever I will engage with as the first touch point must serve me well before I even get to the top.
One of my professors, Professor Seichi, he says, your company is as strong as the weakest link in your chain.
Exactly.
So whoever cleans the toilet must be able to stand and talk to people and represent your brand as the CEO would. So you need to train everybody across board.
Everybody. And you see, you must have a message that is not hidden from your people. Are we in an illegal business? No. So why are we concealing information from the person who will sell the product? So you go to the front desk and then they will tell you, oh, I'm only a customer service person. And so what? I am not here to buy the CEO. I'm not here to buy the managing director. I'm not here to buy the technology officer. I am here to buy a product or a service. And the fact that I have seen you at the front desk, I assume I have seen the business. And so if you cannot place the business in front of the business, don't put a person there. And we've had all sort of, excuses, lame excuses, I call them. Sometimes you walk to the front desk of an organization to make an inquiry. And then, you get all, this petty information that is not, enough for you to take a decision. And then somebody walks in and say that, oh, sorry, she's just a national service person. And so what?
She's just...
I don't care.
She be trained?
I don't care whether the person is just an intern, the person just joined the organization today. If the person is not trained, the person doesn't have the right information, don't put the person there, because first impressions are really, really important when we are talking about customer experience. The person will make a U-turn, go away, and the person is not looking at the beautifully dressed CEO who just walked in and said, this is just a national service person, but I'm looking at the experience. And once I walk out of your door, I am looking for the next alternative, because I really needed that thing is the reason I walked to your organization. So I go on social media and I'll look out for alternatives. And if you are not, lucky and you meet somebody like me I'll jump onto social media.
And you post it
and
right
what I will write, you would not like it. And you see, once the damage is done...
But we need more people to do that because it makes companies aware.
Ghana, we are a bit some way.
Now, I remember somebody, I'm not going to say the airline, but he was receiving some really poor service at an airport, you know, and he says, I'm about to put this right there on social media and put you on full blast. It didn't take a minute before a manager walks up to him and solves this problem.
Exactly. But you see, we shouldn't wait for somebody to go on social media before we do the remedy. Immediately the customer is walking out, we should have a system where we are able to tell that as a business, we want to serve our customers under 2 minutes. So from the time I walk in, there should be a timer to check whatever system, whatever technology you're going to use. You need to track to see whether we are serving our customers under 2 minutes. And if we are not serving our customers under 2 minutes, what should we do? Don't wait for the customer to send the bad information on social media before you step in to do damage control. It will cost you much more money to do damage control, and it's affecting your brand.
I'm so happy you say this because, you know, the best food and beverage manager in Ghana, he's won this award like 3 times, you know, over the years, and his name is Mr. Stephen Odro.
Okay.
He works for the Movenpick Ambassador Hotel. He talks about when he was training in food and beverage service, which is actually the grounding of most hotels and restaurants. And I studied hotel management when I was much younger, and we always talked about the 90-second service. The 90-second service and the eye contact as soon as you come in. And if you're even busy looking at another customer, serving another customer, you say, excuse me, and you look at the next customer and say, I'm just dealing with this one, I'll be with you in a moment. Would you please take a seat? So that they feel like they are seen. And then once you have handled them, there must be somebody who is taking them to a table within the next 30 seconds. And once they have sat at a table, there must be somebody bringing them the drinks menu within the next 30 seconds. And then once the drinks menu has been taken, you know somebody is coming over, whether with a cloth to wipe their hands or whether with something to lay on the table. So within 90 seconds, the customer feels, I am seen, I am respected. I am desired.
Exactly.
So you now talk of 2 minutes.
Yes.
Which is only 120 seconds.
You see.
So we can still do it.
We can do it. And you have to measure all of these things. You don't just pay lip service to it. So you have a survey to know, okay, you came in at this time. What time were you served? Were you happy? All sort of surveys must be in place just to ensure that you are giving off the best. And you see the way you were describing the hotel scene. I was discussing with a friend that when I get exceptional customer service, it gives me orgasm. And my purchasing power will just come and I will be forced to buy more, you know, and that's how beautiful it is. If we all can have these experiences, I'm sure companies or businesses don't have to bother about competition because your focus is on the customer. And it's the customer who will give you the money, isn't it? So if I take a decision that whether rain or shine, I am buying from you, I don't have to look at competition. But if you don't give me the service I'm looking forward to, the next option is there. I'll go to your competitor and you'll be losing business.
So in reality, the customer is always the king.
As we always say. And you know, I was conducting a training for a company in Winneba and it was on customer service. It was a public firm. You know, it's good to know that the public firms are taking customer service seriously. And I put up this question on the floor. And, you know, there were some people, the customer is not the king and this and that. I said, whether the customer is king or not, in my class, you're going to accept that the customer is king. Because if you internalize that notion, or you accept and you affirm that the customer is king, it changes your orientation towards the customer. It changes the way you perceive your business. It changes the way you do things. The customer is not a bother. And you see that customer that would walk in and complain, the customer is complaining because you're not doing what is right. If you're giving me exceptional service, I won't complain. And so when you find customers in your space and they are complaining, don't think they are a bother. They're actually doing you a whole lot of service. Because if they don't complain to you, they walk away. And you are there wondering why my customers are walking away. So the customer, as we say, is the king because it pays the bills. The customer pays the bills, actually. And you see me seated here, beautifully dressed with my nice shoe and everything, is the money of the customer. And so every day,
the money
oh
of the
yes,
customer.
it is the money of the customer, because at the HR certification center, we don't have a money cutting machine.
So sometimes the husband too is a customer.
Oh, yes, he can be the customer.
He's the customer a lot of times.
He can be the customer some of the time. If the customer doesn't give us money, we can pay salaries.
True.
And so if I don't get my salary, I don't get to put on a new dress
for
or
us,
a new
sometimes
shoe.
the wife is the customer.
Yes.
Actually,
a great stakeholder, actually.
The wife is always the customer.
Yes.
Because we must always gratify her needs.
Oh, you have to serve her well.
And the children too are customers.
You have to serve as well.
Fantastic. So, now that we have looked at the blue chip side, you've described the blue chip side so well. I want us to come to the business, the entrepreneurs who run their own small businesses online, who run their own small businesses, going from place to place, delivering goods, or sending somebody to deliver their goods, as well as those who have just a little table on which they sell their stuff. How do they give a good customer experience?
However you're doing your business at whatever level, the customer is very important, or that experience is very important for you. Now, let me give you this scenario. There was a time I wanted to buy a shoe so badly, I couldn't get to my shoe shop. And so I went online and I searched, and too many, I mean, at the click of a button, too many ads, popped up. And what stood out for me was one brand that displayed the shoe, displayed the size of the shoe, the heel length of the shoe, as against someone who just put out a shoe and then a phone number. At that particular point, I felt that this brand had me in mind when she was doing her advert. I called and said, we can deliver in 24 hours. I got my shoe. The others who didn't put up right information lost me. And so whether you are online or you are in Makola or wherever you're doing your business, have the customer in mind. You're not doing business for yourself, you're doing business for the person who will buy from you. Put up the right information. Take the pain to get to know who your customers are, because they have the preference.
One of the things we've started here at Class Media Group is never to write to somebody with just the day, as in the number 27 November, but to say Wednesday, 27 November.
Exactly.
We're not looking for our clients, our customers, our partners to see that date without the day, and then they have to go and check the calendar to do it. So the idea is make it easier for the person you are communicating with constantly. Make it a little more difficult for yourself so you can make it easier for the other.
You are 100%
and if we can
right.
think of this, that also.
You are 100% right. Have the customer always in mind. Who am I serving? Am I serving the low class, the middle class, the upper class? When you have them in mind, we will actually take the pain to draw them on the board. We call them the customer persona. We would define them every step of the way. So if I'm serving the busy bee, I have to put up information. So for example, I can't just put 27, but I'll put Wednesday, because just at the look of it, oh, it's a Wednesday. So I don't have to go and, okay, is it a Friday or something? By the time I'm even saying, is it a Friday, I've moved on to something else. If you're serving the busy bee, have them in mind. Find them. Where do you find them? So you put the information there for them to, interface with your business. Yeah, it's very important. For the person at Makola, so you go to Makola, this person is selling tomatoes, this one is selling tomatoes, this one is selling tomatoes. Your personality,
the smile,
your welcoming attitude, the fact that you could see everybody and then you welcome them, whether they are buying from you, you carry yourself as though everything depends on that particular thing you're selling. They will buy from you.
I used to shop for my mother. I used to do grocery shopping for my mother when I was 16.
Yeah.
She ran a restaurant for over 38 years before she retired. And she would let me go to the market, and I did not understand why.
Oh.
Because I always came back with more goods for the same amount of money.
Tell me why.
And the women in the market, my mother would buy this fish called mackerel, which Ghanaians call salmon. It's not salmon, it's mackerel. Salmon is different from mackerel. And I would go to the fish people, and then there was this very beautiful lady. Hey, and just because of that, I would gravitate towards her. They were all selling the same fish, but she was pleasant. So it attracted me to her. And then there was this particular woman who sold tomatoes. And what she would do is, she would tell me, oh. So she would take my basket and go with me to do the rest of my grocery shopping.
Your personality was doing the trick for you.
I don't know if it was my personality or her kindness.
It could be a blend.
Only for me to find later that all these ladies knew my mother because they went to church together.
Oh.
But they would make a conscious effort to do something to make you feel good.
Yeah.
And if you make a customer feel good, they usually come back
Exactly.
to you.
Exactly. Let me share a typical example from my business. So we always say that the customer is the reason we are in business. And so if a customer is walking in that morning, possibly you walked in at 8 a.m. with, bad news from your boy, oh, mejao, that kind of a thing, and then you are all moody and all of that. Go to the washroom, wash your face, leave the pain at the washroom, come and serve the customer. And if you're unable to do it, recuse yourself and ask somebody to stand in for you. The customer cannot have you in that mood. He or she didn't pay for that. So at the HR Certification Center, the customer is truly the king. And let me share one of our trade secrets with you. As a center, we sell service. Something that is not tangible for you to feel and say, okay, I'm buying this. We put ourselves in the shoes of the customer. And we do it beautifully well that 50% of our marketing budget every quarter is saved. Because there's something in our marketing element called recommendation, where I sell to you, you go and speak to the other person, and every quarter we get about 50% of our people coming from recommendation. If we get to save about 2,000 of our marketing budget every quarter, we are in business. We can channel that money into work-life balance activities, to pay more salaries and give more benefit. That is how beautiful it is at our center. So we actually live in what we are teaching people. And you could come in, do a survey of our people every now and then. They will tell you for the HR Certification Center, if they say they are doing it beautifully well. Yeah.
So if you smile, you actually attract the people.
You do.
But if you don't deliver the good service after the smile, what happens?
It's a combination of things. It's not just your color, it's not just the beautiful office you're sitting in, it's not just your physical beauty. It's about welcoming the customer, making the customer feel like truly I am the king, giving value. So if I am giving you $10,000, make sure you deliver $10,000 worth of service or goods to me. And there's something that we always will say, under promise and over deliver.
That's right.
Under promise and over deliver. So tell the customer, I can do this in 24 hours, when actually you can do it in less than 24 hours. But you promise the customer 24 hours, and then the customer is expecting it. So when you do less than, the person is happy. In actual fact, you could do it in 17 hours or 18 hours. But it's just a trick we all use some of the time. So the physical appearances, your personality as the one rendering the service, the value you give to the customer, and at the end of the day, the impact you're making as a business. Now, there is something called sustainability in businesses. You can't just be taking away from the people. You can't just be taking away from the earth. Or whatever you're taking, the customer is looking to say, oh, if at the end of the year, you're going to make a corporate donation to maybe Dr. Aite's, company or institution. Yeah. We are looking forward to all of that. And that is why we are saying it's an experience, no longer a service. All of these things must come together to make you give that exceptional service that you're looking forward to. And you see, customer service or customer experience is not just a project. It's an ongoing operation. We do it every day. Every day. Every minute you're checking to see if the customer is okay. What did we say we're going to give to this customer? Did we do it? And there must be a designated person in charge checking to see if the customer is okay, because sometimes we lose track of all of these things, and then at the spell of the moment things go away, and then you have to come back to come and do the damage control. So it's an ongoing operation. Every day you have to do it, and don't leave any element out. Every day train your people on new trends and technologies in customer experience, how to measure if the customer is satisfied, how to measure if you're delivering what you promise, and how to measure the time that the customer even spends in your office space, so that you can improve on the service. The customer is always looking for something new, and you must deliver that something new.
You're tuned to CTV and you're watching Master of the Game. When I started the program, I got a few comments coming in because the two people I brought on first were elder statesmen, brilliant, knowledgeable, wise, older people. And they said, KKD, you need to do another program for young people because some master of the game sounds like something for those who are long in the tooth, people who have too much experience. And I said, no, we will find young people who are also masters of their game. And here is one of them, a master of her game, even in her youth. And she's going to grow to become one of those elder statesmen too. So if you know anybody who deserves to be applauded, celebrated, and shown to the world as a master of the game, but of Ghanaian heritage, do write to us at CTV or Accra FM or Class 91.3 FM and let us know. We'll research them, and if they are good for the show, we will bring them on too. When we come back, more with Lady Pearl, only on Master of the Game.
Ghana way, Maya Radio, Hisense Black Friday promo no is back. Every 28th November, equipping 30th November, and 3 days pet. Shamo Hisense showroom bia, ewa Ghana for nenina. Adia openo, ya titi suse who inti enjeja ho. Sa Black Friday promo, Hisense a titi niyama so chayo bia. Inti say ye television, air condition, anasa refrigerator, gas cooker, dishwasher, na sound system, mobile phone, Hisense kettle, microwave, blender, juicer, toaster, irons, rice cooker, air fryer, halogen oven, sandwich maker, water heater, vacuum cleaner, any be break home. Madam Hisense, ma sheda tiswama. Say who my Black Friday promo ihu here. Esa say eya chedi amede mau. Emara if you say Hisense go an mau 5 years manufacturer defect warranty. Eya Hisense Black Friday promo.
Hisense, everyday prices for everyday people.
Where munina, tia all the same.
Oh, me I fear about to angasa my madrin cement.
Menkasada. I don't to aba. Omunyina ya trofo. Utete parties nina. Do this is your papa. And also dinechi. Papa we.
Medindi Kofi Apa. I'm the leader and founder of the Liberal Party, LPG.
Oh no, didn't say papa. I be brought this generation, the next generation. Now let me tell you the vision of this man.
Na me adom number be president. Akola bi wo Ghana bia say the imam ma ewa bochie. Sa ne be yamom. Akola bi twa neka. Bosum bia 500 Ghana cedis.
See wakra and there. Kopim 80 years we twa neka 500 Ghana cedis.
Hey, this o my na ya. Bosum bia na kese obi na 2000 Ghana cedis. Sa so na me be president. Omo nya adwuma. Ifiri ni nwotwe eko nkokora ne mrewa so. Be twa omo ka 700 cedis.
We build up from 80 years awon adwuma no. But twa neka 700 Ghana cedis. Hey, let me tell you some kra na say
university so be free.
We are not school free.
Me, I'll vote for number 5. Madam, I feel 2024 election week. Meto abane di ama LPG. Mami posters ni bi. Na me muam nyenye campaign.
O hwe krata na de to abana be number 5. Me na me to so bi. Ma share so de no e yanso ma. To abana mami. Na to mami ya me de ose e yo.
Kofi akalu onu ana ko.
Somebody like Azuma Nelson is giving me an advice on boxing. I'll take it.
The reason she doesn't want to ask, maybe she feels like it's too early. Maybe she knows the right thing, and she's still complaining. Apart from business and that, what she be saying yours.
Talking to me. When you have children,
Well, be with that young guy.
Ladies of late know they like the
married man and the wife alone.
CTV, Ghana's #1.
Your election stronghold is here again with the most comprehensive election coverage.
The moment to choose between Reset, Upgrade, and the others. We are your trusted source to give you a comprehensive coverage.
And Class Media Group is your most reliable and trusted source to give you the best analysis.
We've put together a strong team of reporters across all constituencies to bring you the breaking news.
Experienced presenters for all the unbiased in-studio discussions with very knowledgeable experts. na ne be pie wa bato no mu bia no yama mu hunu
kaye ho e wa kra 100.5 FM class 91.3 FM CTV Ghana's #1 television and after classfmonline.com ya affiliate stations ahodo atwe en which Ghana ha ba bia no wo sabe kaye
abato mbre sabe se hunu abato no nsu sanso a koso follow class media group your election strong group.
It's party time on Modern Affair. Ola Bawo. As I introduce to you Safari Zoom Flex live on Ghana's #1. With Zoom Flex, you can join the fun wherever you find yourself. Via Zoomer. Ella, shake the body. But it's Friday. Of course, time is 10 p.m. sharp on Ghana's #1 with the man them DJ Last Week Official. We say Ola Bawo.
Give me the move, give me the vibe, give me the...
GH, Accra 100.5 FM, as well as YouTube on MyCTV GH. You are master of the game, only on CTV with our special guest, Lady Pearl Tehoda. Not Tehoda, but that's what the English call it.
Yes.
Tehoda. So, Lady Pearl,
yes.
I want us to come to a simple breakdown of our customer service. There is first and foremost the visual communication.
Yes.
Then you have the verbal communication.
Yes.
But there's also emotional communication.
Exactly.
Break these down for us.
Good. So the visual is what you see, and you get what you see, or you buy what you see, and then the verbal. So you must make the conscious effort to speak well. You're not just speaking to yourself, but you're speaking to the person to appreciate what you're saying. And so if I walk to your shop or if I walk to your office and I don't understand Ga, and you're communicating with me in Ga, you are really not communicating. You're speaking, but you're not communicating. So you must make the conscious effort to speak so the person can appreciate whatever you are saying. And I would always say that when you're speaking or when you're communicating, don't use the technical jargons because we are not coming from the same environment. Break it down so I can understand. Break it down as if you're speaking to my 8-year-old daughter so I can understand and make an informed decision. And then we come to the emotional bit. People want to connect with us emotionally and they want to connect with our brands emotionally. All right. If we are not serving your need, then we are not serving you in the first place. You can buy an iPhone from our shop, but if the iPhone is not connecting with you emotionally, so we want to find out what do you need as a person. And mind you, before people go into building all of these products, they do their research.
They've thought of status.
Exactly.
They've thought of physiological needs.
And they've thought about all the hula balloons going on in the world, and so they want to put something in there that you can easily connect with. But you see, when I am selling to you, I have to be emotionally intelligent and sound to understand you from your perspective. I could come in as a customer with different set of questions. Possibly whatever I am even thinking and imagining is nonsense. But because you can connect with me emotionally, you understand me from where I am coming from, and then you can serve me well. So try to connect emotionally. There's so much going on in the lives of people. There's depression and all of that. When the person gets there, take your time, connect and sell. Don't just go ahead and sell, but connect with a person. And there was a gentleman in your office, I think he was wearing a blue black kaftan.
Yep.
That should be your head of channel.
He's a very sharp guy.
Very intelligent. And so he was
his
trying
name
to...
is Mr. Frank Asari.
Mr. Frank Asari. He was trying to connect with me, to take me from things I am used to make the whole, environment very lighter for me. And I thought that this must be a very smart person. And it just doesn't take learning in the classroom to do. It takes a lot of reading. It takes a lot of research to be able to serve the customer.
Somebody just drove when I got off the set to bring something here to say, KKD, I am so proud of you. You're not only bringing people we know, but you're bringing people that everybody must know. And he brought something here which I want to show to you.
Okay.
Have you ever seen this?
Oh, yes.
He says you spoke at this event, and it was the first time he ever saw you. And he said he prayed that your enterprise will grow from strength to strength.
I mentioned
Did you speak at this event?
Yes, I was at this event. That was just last weekend.
Tell me what happened there.
Okay. So sometime mid of
it's
this
the
year.
Corporate People's Choice Award.
People's Choice Award.
It says it was held at the Movenpick.
Movenpick, yes. And it's organized by the Mavens Communications Group.
Yep.
So mid-year, my company got an award, HR Services Company of the Year. And so we were there, and I'm pretty sure that they connected with me, and I was invited to speak on Agile HR, adapting to business change. And I did that for 5 minutes. I spoke with the audience, and I got good feedbacks actually after that. Yes, so I was there last week.
The feedback was so good that somebody could drive and bring this brochure here to tell us that we brought
I'm
a
sure
good
the
guest
person
on.
wants to say something, the person wants to communicate something. Of course, I mean, if you give a good service, people would easily connect with you.
So to round it all off, you've talked about customer service. You've talked about it for different sectors of the economy, all the way down even to the tabletop in Makola.
Yeah.
What is it that gets somebody into the mold to be a good customer service person? Is everybody able to become a good customer service person? Is there a specific sort of upbringing, education, training that helps people to become customer service persons? Or some people are just not cut for it?
Okay, so customer service or serving people well can be learned. So anybody can learn to become a customer service expert. But first of all, I will say that you must be a people person. Selling to people is not easy. Dealing with people is not easy. You must be cut out for it. Some people have it naturally. They are able to blend with you easily and they can sell anything to you. But others don't have it. You know, I used to be a certain kind of a lady, you know, all closed up, and I just want to be in my corner and do my thing, you know, design all the solutions for, you know, business challenges and all of that. Until that time where my superior says that, Pearl, you have to do this. You have to connect with the people. And I said, okay, yeah, so if this is where I am going, it's a skill I must learn. And I learned it. And here I am today, speaking with KKD on the show, you know. So anybody can learn it. It's a skill. And of course, sometimes you get, you know, some courses, development courses on customer service. You can, but it must be internal. You must make the conscious effort to appreciate who the customer is and to be deliberate about the fact that you want to serve the customer. Yes.
Thank you very much, Lady Pearl
Thank you,
Perlasia Tehoda, for joining us on Master of the Game.
Thank you for
Wherever
having
you
me.
are, customer service is what you do to give people a good customer experience. And if you really want to serve people well, then think yourself as though you were a waiter and look at the customer. And remember, the customer is king. But don't be the type of waiter that just goes into their shell and feels they're so small that because you're serving somebody, they are merely a servant. For the customer is king, but the waiter is emperor. My name is Dakwa, Kwesi Che Dakwa. Thank you for joining us on Master of the Game. See you on Friday.